Hey everybody, this is Grumpy Old Guy Gaming. I was originally not intending on starting this upload until we were back down into the cemetery. Hope you're all doing well. I wanted to save the tedium of once again running through the first couple levels, but if you remember last time, the very last encounter we had on our Sunday stream was with that party with the girl bishop, the thief, and the fighter. We found out their names. The bishop is Anne Marie, and then you had the fighter Rune and the thief Oscar. And it seems we've bumped into Anne Marie here again in the labyrinth. Yep, there's the whole party. Anne Marie says, "Nice to see you again. Oh, silly me, I don't even know your name yet." Yeah, now that I think about it, they never did ask our names. Tried to kill us once, but she bashfully stuck out her tongue. That's a new one on me. Oscar says, "Hey, you jerk. Who do you think you are, not telling Anne your name?" Should have seen that coming. Oscar shouted fiercely. "Oscar, don't make me say it again. I don't like people who are vulgar." And Oscar apologetically bowed his head to Anne Marie. Oscar says, I'm sorry, Anne, I just can't control my mouth." You know, these guys get kind of annoying after a while, don't they? Now it's Rune's turn to talk. Says, "So how about telling us your name?" Now she's gonna scold Rune for speaking up. Says, "Sorry, Anne," because that's what they do. They just keep apologizing to her. And then she scolds them for acting pathetic, even though it's kind of what she's beat them into. Real weird dynamic these three give off, isn't it? Then she turns her attention back to us. Anne Marie says, "Okay, let me ask you officially. Can you tell me your name?" I mean, I guess might as well, right? Tell her the name and she smiles. Goes, "Agog? Okay, I got it. Oh, I think I've heard that name before. Where did I hear it?" And she's searching. Says, "Oh, whatever. Agog's a real common name." Kind of feels that way some days, doesn't it? "Anyway, Agog, how would you like to play with us for a bit?" "Not really. Really, not really." She goes, "We're playing a game. Let's see who can defeat more groups of enemies before getting to the stairs to the 4th floor. That's exactly the opposite of what I want to do. If we win, we get a magic stone. But if they win, they get half of my money. That doesn't sound like a good deal at all." Will I play? Nope, no time for that. Now we've hurt our feelings. She tells us, "You're so mean. You rejected my invitation." Says, "You jerk, how dare you make Anne cry like that? Rune, let's get him." Rune says, "Right." And here we go again. I get the feeling we're in for a couple of these battles here. Once again, Rune and Oscar doing a little working out between the cutscene and the battle sequence here. Definitely look a bit more buff than their portraits led on. Let's start with a restrict shot, as we know these guys aren't casting spells. Have Ricardo and Rui double slash Oscar and see if Kyo can just take out Rune one-on-one. Well, Oscar's sped up a bit in the time since we last faced them. Still hasn't figured out we're going to restrict shot, though. Ooh, dodged both halves of the double slash. Okay, this one may be a bit of a battle. I don't think it'll be too challenging overall because, again, there's not much we have to worry about. Just do second verse, same as the first. And down goes Oscar after a pair of restrict shots. Kyo with a death strike takes out Rune. So, for all of their increased training, they didn't really last any longer than last time either. We do pick up 1200 experience for the battle though, so that's something. Oscar really wants to know why we're so strong. Rune wants to know if that means they need to train harder. We're doing the anime, it's not possible! And then Anne-Marie comes in to call them pitiful again. She'd been watching from a distance, but she soon came over. I feel like these guys would probably stand a slightly better chance if she ever helped them. Goes, at this rate, you'll never become a ninja or a Queen's Guard. Ouch. On the contrary, you are really strong, Agog. Not really. I'm a bishop. Oscar and Rune aren't even in the same league as you. You might even be able to become a Queen's Guard. Also not my goal. Oscar and Rune hung their heads in shame upon hearing these words. Now they're sad and pleading. Someday Rune will be strong enough. Anne-Marie glanced at the two, then chuckled sadly. She goes, that's alright. You don't have to be so hard on yourselves. After all, some people just can't do anything right. Ladies and gentlemen, Bishop Anne-Marie, motivational speaker. After making her final remark, Anne-Marie ignored the two and looked at us. Goes, well, you can come play with me if ever you feel like it. Take care. Goodbye. Okay, she's walking off on her own, which means these guys are about to run right behind. There they go. And now we are finally free to look for the exit. Honestly, I was kinda hoping it would be the Tarot Priest again. So far, 3 for 3 on good readings from that guy. Can you get any luckier? Just gonna keep going right here. Little bit of an encounter. I suppose I should be worried about a rush. So we'll set a front guard. Individual action. Let's have Agog cast a spell. What do we want to go with? I feel like Zakrito's probably the best call. Front row. What does Sarah have in her arsenal that may help? Oh, there we go. Koneru, evade of the whole party, why not? So we are set in case the orcs were to rush. And it's not going to matter anyway because we just threw a whole ton of fire at them. One of the orc kings survived, that's not so bad. Koneru gets our entire party's evasion up, and now some orc kings are going to think better of sticking around and head on home. So from that whole wall, we're down to 2 here. Not much of a reason to drag this one out. And Kyo makes sure there's no suspense in that one. The assisted shot finishes off the final Orc King. Let's tally up the points, shall we? Pick up an axe. Let's see what we got here. Appraising. Just a steel hand axe. Nothing too special. Coming up on some giant toads this time. Not really worried about them casting. We'll just restrict shot here. Ricardo and Rui double slash, and hopefully Kyo could take one out solo. Oh yeah, easily. One toad calls for assistance. Help does not come. The other toad comes at Rui and pays the price. Do believe we can end this battle in a hurry. And we shall do so with the utmost of potential damage. There's 40. And we're going to add 147 onto that. So even with a miss, we got 187 damage on that poor little toad. Ah well, what can you do? Pick up a frog tongue. Again, that'll help in making some spells later. A little bit of a spear trap there, evaded that handily. All kind of traps here today. All kind of traps here today, folks. And there's a dragon. Our buddy the poison gas dragon. Just hitting for everything we got here. Actually, that was a good amount of damage. I'm rather pleased with how that round went. Kyo missed on his first strike and made up for it with the second. And we get 480 experience. Nothing to bat an eye at, really. Assisted shot and individual attacks. We know when the time comes we're best served by casting a teal spell on those beetles in the back row. Hey, look at that, they can attack from the back row too. Which means they could attack our back row. Fortunately, they don't seem to be doing that super well. Oh, there's some damage. So Agog takes 7. Oh, life could be worse. Assisted actions, well, assisted shot, individual. See what Kyo's got as far as the spell goes. Teal to the front row. Rui with a Krita to the back row. And Ricardo will just attack the dragonfly. Even on a fumble. Rui does enough damage to take that beetle out. Get a nice little payday from that overall. Okay, made it out of that little maze of doors. There we are. Get that dragon out of our way, and oh, looky there, there's the exit. All we gotta do is get through this battle, and we can make our way down to the cemetery. Bonus, they're friendly. Friendly dragonflies, we just sort of wave and get on our merry way. Building up that party trust with solid decision making, and now we go into an ancient cemetery in the middle of a magical labyrinth. So much for solid decision making. But hey, you got what you got, and what we have is a rather fleshed out map from all of the other poor decisions we've made, trying to navigate through here. Find ourselves a good amount of the undead to fight, if there can be such a thing. Go ahead with some individual action here. Ricardo will defend. Agog will attempt to dispel the zombies, and Sarah will take a crack at the spirits. Make that spirit, because Kyo's got no time for them to stick around. Hey, Agog got a couple of the zombies. And Sarah got the spirit. Yes, she do. Go ahead, line up an assisted shot, and just individual attacks. That should be more than enough to get this zombie. And there it goes. This party's become really adept at their handling of these lower level undead. Survived that little pitfall trap. There's another one. And we fall into the pit. But hey, we made some headway there. Again, the toughest part is just figuring out where to go in these. Sometimes the toughest part is remembering which room's gonna have the portal in it. Should be here to the left. Yep, there we are. And if I remember correctly, yeah, that puts us right on top of the hill there. Always forget which way to go. Make our way around here again. And that was also a bad decision. Trial and error, folks. Emphasis on the error. Head back up once again. Not too much that we're scared of here. The spirit's probably the worst enemy we're going to fight. And it just got turned into a brick. Even move into the undead kobolds before it was all said and done. As you could see, still no magic weapon for Ricardo. Or for Sarah, for that matter, but Sarah could just outright dispel the undead. Chose not to go that route here. Pick up some rotten meat. Everybody's favorite. Just not the holidays without some good old-fashioned rotten meat, you know? Once again, making our way over to here. I feel like this is the right way to be going. Like, this seems pretty familiar to me. Set our attacks up once more. Ooh, getting a cast out of the spirit. And it's a teal. Good bit of damage there. See, I remembered they did something. I knew there was a reason I did not generally like facing those guys. But hey, the mystery has been revealed. So we'll go ahead and finish them off. And then once we're out of battle, we'll go ahead and show off Sarah's new party trick. Managed to make a couple new magic stones in town. Get a couple new interesting spells. One of which was Fields. Restores half of hit points for 1 row. So there's one spell used to heal 3 people. And we're getting that good old economy you're looking for out of your spellcaster. Do you think we have to go down into this pit in front of us here? I think that may be a thing. So just one undead puppy left to go. And this kobold is no more after the assisted shot. I tell you what, they keep throwing that party at us and it keeps giving us 780 some experience. Nope, also not the right pit. But I've got a good feeling about next time. Because we're kind of running out of bad options, aren't we? unless I'm navigating, then just about every decision I make. Guys, how many times can I find a different route to the same place? Okay. Well, this is new. Picked up the bag that was dropped together and untied it. There was a piece of paper inside. Do not steal my treasure. We fell for a trap that somebody made. Okay. Well, they told us not to steal the treasure. We fell into the hole. We're gonna take the treasure. Got a trapped chest here. Gonna let Rui examine it. There is a dark fog set. Will we still open it? Take a deep breath. And here we go. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? 3 triangles. That was all we had to hit. And we pick up a vellum. Not really mad about that at all. Here's another new room with another treasure chest. Also not mad about that. Let's see what we got here. Healing potion. Let's go ahead and use that on Agog. Not that we really need to, but we really don't need the healing potion at this point. Taking up more space than it's going to give us. Now we're up against a couple gargoyles. Rather, we're saying hi to our friends from last time out, the friendly gargoyles. That's about the 4th time we've run into them. 2 gargoyles happy to see us. And overall, I'm not exactly sad about that. Enough things in this game want to rip our heads off. Got a little tunnel here. Speaking of things that want to rip our heads off, 2 zombies and a spirit. Set up the assisted shot. And attack, attack, attack. Kyo coming through in the clutch to take out the spirit. Rui's gonna finish off that zombie, and we're not gonna quite kill this second zombie. But we will get a good head start on it, and since it was back row, it's gonna shuffle up to the front here and allow us another chance to take it out before it can do much harm. There we go. Assisted shot will do the trick this time. And there's a quality 828 to our favor. Pick up another skull. Neat little winding tunnel path there. And we find our way back out. Huh. In the labyrinth full of tombstones, a man stood absent-mindedly. This can't be Giorgio, could it? He was not doing anything in particular, he was just staring at the grave before him. Says, all that's left here is the grave and body of someone rotting away. I thought I fully understood that. He had shoulder-length black hair and almond-shaped eyes. The man in front of you fit the description of Giorgio, whom you were asked to find. Says, I guess somewhere in my heart I believe, however illogical, that it's impossible for someone you loved to disappear and be gone. I always believed that there was nothing that couldn't be undone in this world, that I could get back whatever I'd lost. Up until the time I lost someone dear to me. The man must have felt something after identifying himself. He quietly began talking about his past. The man's name was Giorgio Avello. He killed people for money. His existence was only known to a handful of the population. The work he did was always shrouded in bloody darkness, and was never meant for anyone to know about. When the flash happened, I had just finished a job and was on my way back to town. When I saw the flash, the only thought in my head was that of her. I hoped and I prayed that she was still alive. Then at least I could have apologized to her for all the heartless things I'd done to her, all the terrible things I've ever said to her. Isn't it funny? After I've murdered so many people, but all that was left for me was her tragically charred body. That was the response to my prayers. And time has never moved for me since. Dang. Giorgio gently touched the gravestone once more before he left. Then he faded away, blending in with the somber scenery. A beautiful ring sat upon the grave. On the ring, the name Rosavelo was engraved. If you remember, Rosavelo happened to be the person who gave us this quest in the first place. We met her in town a couple episodes back. And, this is apparently her grave. We pick up the promise ring. Suppose we'll be returning that to Rose when we get to town. But we actually have to get there first. Ricardo says, "Wait a second," in front of this very large, conspicuous grave. Stops. He says, "This grave, it seems different from the others." It really does. Says, "Should we check it out?" I think we should. Tracks of something being dragged. Will we move the tombstone? Absolutely will. Deserted grave. And here's the level 6 ninja. He's friendly. We're happy that he's friendly. Not that we haven't dealt with a couple in the past, we would just rather not continue dealing with them. Okay. Another grave. Well, there's a pit right there, and we just got back attacked by something rather unpleasant. Oh, lucky there, it was not a back attack. This guy's got Wolverine blades. Definitely not liking their presence. I'm going to take the chance that they're going to attack with those blades more than cast. So we'll go with a restrict shot here. Double slash between Kyo and Rui on this shade, and there's not much Ricardo can really bring to the party here. There goes one shade. Second shade does attack, and he attacks Kyo. Fortunately, Kyo able to dodge out of the way. Try another restrict shot. Double slash Kyo and Rui, and Ricardo will defend. Alright, 2 of 2 getting rid of those shades. Spooky looking enemies, aren't they? Yet another skull. Always with the skulls. Let's head back this way. Just a wall of undead kobold. Fortunately, it's a wall of friendly undead kobold. And we're kind of turned around here, aren't we? Okay. Going to do something I haven't done yet in the game, and that's cast the Maps spell. Going to give us a little view of the dungeon here. Okay, so if you're looking at the screen, maybe a little tough to see. You can see the areas brightly colored are where we've been before, and yeah, there's a lot more to this you haven't seen. And we're just going to kind of take a look here. If we go down 1, 2, 3, 4 squares to that intersection at the bottom of the T, move left for 2, we have a clear run the whole way up there. We could actually make a little headway. I think I see where we need to go here. Okay. Got it planned out in my head. Probably going to be revisiting that spell at least one more time this upload. But, of course, duty calls first. Wow. Didn't even get rid of the zombie this time. Just some unfortunate attacks there for us. That assisted shot will more than do the job. And we will mop up here, so it's not like we're losing a ton of time. Agog so close to leveling. So very close to leveling. Okay, making our way up that little hill there. And we're up against a couple more shades. No need to fix what ain't broke. Lucked out again. Ooh, big critical from Kyo to finish that one off with a flourish. That'll be more than enough to level up Agog. And now Kyo's getting pretty close. Yet another skull. Okay. Stopped here at the end of the staircase. Hear a voice say, "I heard that my father's troop was attacked here." Very skilled female warrior and a samurai approached. The samurai says this graveyard has changed from when it was above ground. And it's become joined to the charnel house, so it's even more mixed up. Female warrior says true, and with all of the pitfalls it's difficult to walk around. But what is my father thinking hiring adventurers to take his quests? The warrior spoke loudly enough for you to hear her, most likely on purpose, and walked away. Well, before we think about that, we have a couple more shades to deal with, don't we? Maybe this will be the time one of them accidentally runs into a restrict shot. There we go. Shade goes to attack Ricardo, and we get a good 51 damage in preemptively. Cool. We now know it doesn't take a whole ton of damage to kill them. Next time out, I think we could afford to play a little more aggressively with those shades. Picked up yet another skull. And since we've been thoroughly distracted here, I'm going to go ahead and cast maps again. So we want to go up 1, 2, 3 more squares. Then right 2, down 2, right 2, up 2. Okay. So up 3, right 2, down 2, right 2, up 2. Got it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And I got it lost in my head again. So, off to the spell we go. Okay, up 2. Got it. That's what I was thinking. That was a pitfall trap we could just kind of walk through. And there's a gate. We stopped, sensing that something was approaching us. As we prepared for an attack, a hobbit deftly made his way over the fence. It's our buddy, the hobbit thief, from the first couple levels. There he is. Daniel says, "Hold this for a second." Daniel tossed something at you as he ran by. When you reflexively caught it, Daniel grinned. This is never good. He says, "Thanks." Folks, you should be alarmed when a thief tries to take something from you. You should be mortified when a thief gives you something. Daniel was gone before you could stop him. Shortly, 3 thieves came running from the same direction Daniel came from. There they are. Such a fun bunch, aren't they? When the thieves saw in your hands what Daniel had given you, they stopped and drew their weapons. Says, "Are you one of his gang? How dare you steal anything from us?" Without letting us explain the thieves' attack. Delightful. Okay, this may not be so bad. Level 4 thieves. Let's play this a little smart. Let's go with a restrict shot, double slash with Rui and Ricardo, and see if Kyo can solo one. Yep, petrifies on the first strike. Ooh. Level 4 thief actually survived the double slash from Rui and Ricardo. But then it tried to attack Rui, and the restrict shot was enough to take it out. Okay. So now we've got our game plan for round 2, as there's only one of them left, and that thief is wounded. I'm going to switch to an assisted shot, go with the double slash, and have Kyo and Ricardo go for the kill. 30 more damage to the cause before the finishing blow hits. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Picked up another handsome sum of experience. When we finish fighting the thieves, lo and behold, Daniel reappears. There's our buddy. Goes, you're pretty strong. I guess they were just unlucky. Daniel laughed cheerfully. My job is to steal from the thieves wandering around in this labyrinth. It's a lot easier than fighting scary monsters. Look at how I did today. Daniel grabbed away the large bundle that he threw to you a moment ago. He opened up the bundle, pulled out a plethora of items. If you don't love this game for the action or the story, love it for the fact that they actually used the word plethora. Daniel goes, hee, I got a lot today. My policy is to make money the easy way. I almost got caught, but it was a good thing I ran into you guys. Help me out if something like this happens to me again. I'll give you those items over there to you. They're stolen goods anyway. Well, I've already made lots of money on this floor, so I'm going down to the 5th floor. See you laters. After saying that, Daniel ran off swiftly up to the end of the path. Then he jumped straight into a pitfall and disappeared. Rui goes, "Ha, what the heck? That weirdo just jumped into that hole? Something's fishy. Maybe he's hiding a treasure down there. I'm curious now. Gosh, I want to go check it out now." Of course she does. And we probably will, but first I kind of want to see what that gate is. Got a bag on the ground, let's pick it up. A blush chainmail is inside of the bag. Let's go ahead and take that. Another bag on the ground. Craftsman's armor is in the bag. Let's go ahead and take that. See if anybody could use either of these. Oh, first off, let's go ahead and make a little room for us to check. Hand a couple of items over to Sarah here. Taking a look at the blush chainmail, Ricardo could use it. So could knights, mages, ninjas, and priests. Be a definite improvement for Keo. Be a huge improvement for Sarah, but we're not so worried about Sarah's overall defense as we are Ricardo. Before we get into that, stats there are 4 and 8. The craftsman's armor can only be worn by a warrior or a knight, and that's 2 and 7. So I think the blessed chainmail is going over to Keo. And the craftsman's armor is getting handed over to Ricardo. Now that does open up some dragon chainmail. And the dragon chainmail is an upgrade over Sarah's decorated plate. So let's go ahead and equip that. And we are all the better for this little excursion. So Daniel at least made good by us. And now let's check out the hole he ran into. Got a portal to warp back up there. Got a couple doors, and we've got a sign. On the sign, in barely legible handwriting, it said, "The magic circle is suspicious. Keep out of it if you intend to go forth, although it's easy when you want to get back. The mighty warrior Odom." Apparently Odom did not meet his fate last time out, as we found more of his writings. Got a pair of gash dragons here. Not liking that look at all. Definitely restrict shot. And let's have Rui cast for the life of her. Huge thunder damage to all enemies sounds good to me. Let's do some Jetil here. Not loving that second miss by Keo. Okay, not the best call there. The lightning spell was resisted pretty handily. Both dragons go for a breath attack here. That's bad news. And we get a couple people poisoned in Rui and Sarah. So we'll switch up to a Zakrita and see if this goes any better. Well, we get far more damage out of the double slash there. Let's see how the Zakrita fares on damage. Well, we got 36 damage on that. Hey, our restrict shot did something. Taking our poison damage in stride. See if a Zatil will help us out at all here. Nope, still nothing. More poison breath attacks. One more round. Okay, one dragon is down. See if Rui can finish the job with a Zatil here. Nope. Got 15 damage, but that's about as far as we got. Taking a bit more from the poison. Assisted shot. Offensive double slash. And switch Rui to an attack. And that's enough to finally conquer the second dragon. Bit of a harrowing fight there for us, but it's the kind of thing we're going to have to get used to doing. Fifth floor is certainly not going to take it easy on us. Let's have Sarah cast a couple of fields. One for the front row, and one for the back. Come into a room where an elf ninja was fighting against a rotting corpse. With a flash of light, the rotting corpse collapsed. The rotting corpse laid twitching on the ground, then gradually shriveled into a mass of flesh. The ninja says, "Rest now, damned soul." The elf ninja sheathed his magical knife after dispatching the rotting corpse swiftly as the wind. The sight of him made your heart jump the same way it did before during Anne-Marie's story. Unconsciously, you walked towards him. Several Duhan ninjas appeared before the elf. Coming to your senses, you stopped suddenly. The ninja soldiers began reporting to the elf at once. Says this area has been cleared of the undead, but I'm certain that more will appear soon. The ninja says, "What is our condition?" The ninja soldier says, "About 1/4 of our men are unable to fight, sir." The elf closed his eyes in deep thought. The elf was most probably Colgan the Agile that Anne-Marie had mentioned, so yet another member of the vaunted and legendary Queen's Guard here. goes there's no reason to scout further. To the next floor. Soldier says, yes, sir. The ninja soldier glanced in your direction for a second. He briefly showed a look of suspicion. Seeing this reaction, Colgan turned around. Colgan arched his eyebrows slightly. Then he gave an order to the ninja soldiers. You go on ahead. I have something to do. With a curt response, the ninjas vanished quickly. Colgan stared at you with a freezing glare. But behind those icy eyes, it seemed as if a crimson flame burned wildly. Doesn't sound good for us. Says, why are you alive? Are filthy souls like yours barred from the afterlife? Many who did not deserve to die perished from the flash, and yet you, who have no right to live, remain alive. So Colgan knows us and is not a fan. How dare you simply show up after everything that has happened? I will at least listen if you intend to beg for forgiveness. Not that a traitor like yourself would ever be forgiven. Man, we did something bad. Surprisingly, Colgan seemed to know you. As you blankly stared back, Colgan's rage burst like a flame. Have you nothing to say for yourself? Colgan slashed his knife angrily, but just grazed you. Blood trickled down your cheek. An image appeared and disappeared in your eyes. Back in the castle. Says, it's not as if I trusted you. I trusted Her Majesty's words in her heart. Do not forget, Agog, that my blade is directed at you. Okay. So Colgan held up his knife that became wet with your blood. Says, you betrayed this country, you betrayed her heart. You betrayed Her Majesty's trust. You betrayed all the time that we had spent together. There is no need to leave you alive any more. In the name of Her Majesty, you shall be punished. Colgan attacked us. Well now, this is bad news indeed. Let's just go ahead with some individual actions here. Have the front row defend. Let Agog cast a Zakrita like his life depends on it on the back row. Oh. Sarah's just gonna have to cast a Canaru here. Up our evade. Huge amount of damage to Kyo there. And that's even defending that all of that damage was taken. They seem to have resisted that pretty handily. Got our evade up. Poison sinking in. Think we gotta go with the restrict shot here. Just trust Kyo to hang on. That's about the best we can do at this point. Double slash. Okay, restrict shot worked there. That's 25 damage on Colgan. Knew that was a bit of a long shot to hit. Okay, so overall we learned that the restrict shot is great, but it's not going to save us overall here. Gonna have to do some casting, I think. Go ahead, restrict again, and go to individual actions. Sorcerer's spell. We'll have him teal the back row. We'll have Rui, Safiel Keo, and Ricardo will attack because why not? Another 25 damage with a restrict shot. Right now that's our best bet, Colgan going ahead and taking that damage. Well, that's a problem. That was a death strike on Keo. I don't think we're going to be able to flee here. So we're definitely going to be going back to town and reviving him. Even worse, that puts Agog in the front row. Oh man. How did we get to here, folks? Zatiel on the back row. Krita on Colgan. And attack. And Colgan takes out Ricardo. This is just looking worse by the second, folks. Individual actions. Cast on the back row. Cast on the back row. And Sarah will cast Debarats on Colgan. Rui, lucky evasion there. She takes 4 damage, but hey, 4 damage is not lethal. We get rid of the level 6 ninjas in the background. They were doing a ton of damage to us there. And now it's just cast away, cast away, cast away, all on Colgan. Hopefully we've got enough magic muscle left. We have just enough to finish him off. Get 2 party members severely wounded there. Colgan became furious. You see we bloodied him up pretty good there. Says, "Fight me seriously, Agog. Why are you fighting like an adventurer?" Well, goes, "Are you mocking the Queen's Guard?" But you couldn't understand the meaning of Colgan's words, like why he thought we were joking around when half our party is dead. Says Colgan grimaced hatefully. Says, "If that's how you want to play, fine. I'll chase you, I'll hunt you down, and then I'll kill you. You won't know when death will come for you. You shall live in fear like a kobold being stalked by a dragon." Dude's got A+ trash talk. I'm just gonna say that now. Colgan should be Colgan the shit talker. He vanished into the darkness. Rui says, "Boy, does he hate you." How nice of the only surviving party member to stand up. Sarah's alive too. I shouldn't say the only one. Did you do something terrible to him, Agog? I mean, did you get between him and a girl? Rui gave a wicked grin. She says, "Contempt like that can only have something to do with love. I immediately knew it was about a romantic relationship." Well, at least she's got a clue, 'cause we're kinda lost here. Let's go ahead and open this chest. Inside, we've got an unidentified helmet. Let's check that out, shall we? Why am I handing it over? I want to appraise it. It's an enduring helmet. Increased resistance against sleep and unconsciousness. And it allows an attribute change to neutral. Not really what we're worried about right now. Right now we're just kind of fleshing this room out and then heading through that door, seeing if we can get a little further on here. Well, we fell into a hole in the ground. And rather than chancing our party's chemistry falling much further, let's see what's in this chest here. I think we're probably at a good point to wrap this upload up anyway. Oh, we found an antidote. Let's hold on to that. Let's just go ahead and use a transfer potion, get back to town. Not our smoothest run, but we did stare down the most terrifying foe yet in Colgan the Ninja, who is definitely not a fan of ours. Okay, time to spend some money at Ye Old Temple here. Let's go order of importance. Let's try reviving first. Got 2,000 to revive Ricardo and 1,800 for Keo. Sure, let's give it a shot. Proceed with the ceremony. And he is revived. It is successful, and he is back with us with 1 hit point. 1,800 for Keo, absolutely. Two for two. Now let's cure some poison. 300 apiece for this. Not a problem. Okay, folks, I think we're going to wrap it up there. We have very much stared death in the face and made it back alive, albeit battered. We have almost made our way through the 4th floor. I'm going to tie up our quest and a couple other things here. Actually, you know what? Before that, let's go ahead and tie up Rose's quest. A little bit of a bonus here. I feel like that's something probably worth having on video here. She goes, "Did you find anything out?" There's our buddy Rose again. She goes, "So how did it go? Did Giorgio meet with another woman?" So this is going to be a very awkward conversation. Hand her the ring Giorgio left. She goes, What's this?" "Wait a second, this ring has my name engraved in it." Rose made a face like she wasn't satisfied with this answer, but then Something struck her mind. I see. So that was it. It's almost been a year since we first met. So he was hiding this present. He didn't need to hide it from me. We got an elf hair ornament and 10,000 gold. So that again completes the quest there. Like I said, I'm just going to wrap up the rest of this off camera. Thank you very much. I know this was sort of a lengthy upload, as these Wizardry ones tend to be. Hopefully they are enjoyable. This has been a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, and we'll catch you in the next.